let's see how we're going to be building this social card of Andrew Tate, the top G. So we're going to have a position in the world. Then we're going to have some information over here and 2 buttons. We can hire him to be our life coach, or we can contact him and say that he's a shithead. Or in my case, I can say that I like this dude. Now, this social card is something that I decided to build for a further project that you're going to be seeing here on YouTube. But it turned out very nice, and I just decided to put a video on it alone. So yeah, it's very smooth. I like it quite a lot. Let's see how to build it. We are into Visual Studio Code, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open the terminal. So I'm going to cd. Okay, we don't have anything. Now we're going to create the React app. So that's going to be npx create React app. You have to write create properly. Create React app, and then I'm going to call it social card. So let's actually press enter, and once we're done, we're going to get back. All right, now we say happy hacking, so everything is done clearly. Now I'm going to go to cd. Oops. Oh, that's very bad. Okay. Let me see. It was social card tutorial. So cd social card tutorial. There we go. List cd social card list, and we've done it. Okay, good. So now React is actually set up. I'm going to probably delete a couple of stuff. So I'm going to delete the logo from here. I'm also going to delete everything from here, and just gonna say div app test.js, delete index.js. We're gonna delete this logo, delete, and the setup tests, I'm going to delete them. Public, I'm going to delete logos. And currently I do believe that that's pretty much it. So let's actually see, do we need anything else? We can delete this icon as well. Here I can just remove these comments so they're not ugly. React app, and here we're going to be calling it social card. We need to know enable JavaScript to run this app. All right, good. And let's actually see npm start. This should be compiling successfully, but just to be sure, something already is running on port. Yes. Yeah, let's run on a different port. I do not mind. 3001, and yeah, it compiled successfully. Okay, that's important. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go in app.js, and here we're going to be writing a card component. In order for us to do that, I'm just going to say folder, components, and here in components, I'm going to create card, JSX, and of course, card.css. All right, in JSX, I'm going to say RAFCE tab. So here I'm going to be exporting default card, and here, of course, I will be rendering card. So you can see components card, tap over here, and so far we have to have hello world, and let's see if this is actually going to work. So opening up the browser is giving us, there we go, hello world. So we're currently visualizing the card that's right over here. Okay, that is great. And yeah, let's actually continue from, oh yeah, also I need to import card CSS. So that's what I'm gonna do. I can just say import card CSS. All right, wonderful. Now, here is going to be our social card. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say div.card tab in order to create a div with a class name card. Of course, we're going to be styling them right over here. App CSS, I can even delete it, but yeah, I'm just gonna, let's leave it for now. It's not bothering us. So the card is going to be looking as following, and I want something that's going to be looking like this with a circle like this, and here we're going to have some person, the name, so that's going to be name over here, and of course a position. So I'm going to say position. All right, once I actually hover on it, we're gonna see this growing bigger, and here we're gonna have the name, the position, and of course the hiring, contact, and the different projects that this person did. All right, so how are we going to do that? Now, the first thing that I want to do is to create the image box where I'm going to be storing an image. So this is going to be div.imageContainer. I'm going to say container, just like this. And here we're going to have an image. Good. So if you're actually trying to pop some image in here, you're going to get probably coarse problems. So the way you're actually going to do it is first we're going to head to Google, choose an image that we like, and then copy image address. Let's see this. So we're going to be searching for Andrew Tate this time, because why not? I like this picture. I'm going to say open copy image address like this and put the source to be this address. Of course, I can say alt is going to be nothing. Good, good. So this is Mr. Tate right over here. We have the image container. And now we want to place the content somewhere. The content is going to be the details we're going to be providing. So this is going to be div.content. And here I'm going to have div.details. The person details. And we're going to start first with the name. So I want to be like this. Also, I'm going to say a break line over here. And I'm going to say Andrew Tate. There we go. Yeah, I had to start with the Andrew Tate in the beginning, to be honest, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So what is he? Well, he is he is a top G, right? So I'm just going to say Andrew Tate, top G. That is going to be his occupation. So right below this, I'm going to say div data. So this is going to be the personal data, and we're going to write h3s over here with a couple of break lines as well, and with a span tag. There you go. So the first one is going to be how many cars do we have? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do something different. So I'm going to say 32, and then I'm going to go here to sports cars. All right. I'm going to copy this, paste it more times. I'm going to say 1 mil followers right over here. And then I'm going to say 200 and let's say, okay, like this. So followers and following. No. We're going to follow one person. That's going to be Tristan, right? So this is going to be following. Okay, good. So we're going to end the div here. And I'm going to say div dot action buttons. So this is if we want to contact him. We're going to say 2 buttons. This is going to be hire. So we're going to hire him to do certain tasks. And of course, we're going to be contacting him. So that's going to be contact. All right, great. So let's actually see what we have currently. I'm going to remove this Mr. Tate. And that's what we got. All right, it's looking funny. Yeah. Good. So now what we want to do is to actually place this something like this. That's what we want to achieve. So let's go back. And what I'm planning to do is to put the cart CSS on the right side over here. For some reason, I cannot do it. All right, good. So on the right side, and here we're going to see what's happening with Andrew. Good. The first thing I want to do is I want to give margin 0 and padding 0 to everything. I'm going to go with border box, and I'm going to say font family Poppins. Oops. Good. Now I'm going to then figure out what the body is going to be. So currently I want display flex. I'm going to put everything to the center. And I'm going to say min height is going to be 100 view height. The background I'm going to leave as, I think this picture is nice, so I can say background is going to be linear gradient. 30 degrees, white smoke. Something like this. White smoke and gray. All right, good. Let's see how this is actually looking currently. All right, so we have this kind of effect where it's gray over here and it's going white, as you can see. I think this is going to be nice with this photo because I like the photo. It has nice colors. Good. The first thing we want to style after the body is going to be the whole cart component. So let's actually target that cart. And I'm going to go with position. I'm going to say relative because we're going to have some absolute stuff. And I'm going to choose how big the cart is going to be. Now I'm going to go with 350 pixels and height is going to be 200 pixels. So let's actually see how this is going to go. I don't see it yet, so I have no idea if this is going to be good. Border radius, I'm going to give also a border radius because I do not want it to be a full rectangle. So that's going to be 20 pixels over here. Background is going to be white smoke. We're obviously going to put a box shadow. So it's going to be 0, 20 pixels, 60 pixels, and then I'm going to go like this. All right. And I'm going to give it a transition. of 0.5 seconds, or actually I'm going to put 0.4. Good. Let's actually see now if we can look something. So these are the buttons as well. All right. I still cannot see it. I think it's because of the photo. Now if I do remove it, so I need to remove this. Oops. I need to remove this. We should be able to finally see something. All right, there we go. So as you can see, this is going to be the card, and I think that's all right. Probably the edges can be a little bit more. I can smooth them up, probably. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. Okay, let's put the image, and let's go targeting what's going to happen when we hover. So card on hover is going to grow. So I'm just going to say 450 pixels is going to be on the hover. Again, I'm going to remove the image just to see if this is going to work out. And boom, boom. There you go. So as you can see, the card is growing. Now I'm not going to touch the width of it. I'm not going to go broader. I'm just going to go, yeah, like this. All right, good. Let's place the image again. And now let's actually do something with the image. The image was an image container. So I'm going to say .image container, and I'm going to give it an absolute position. So I'm going to say absolute. Also, I'm going to put it a little bit to the left. I'm going to translate it by X, minus 50%. And let's actually see, we're not going to see the container yet. I have to remove this image to see. All right, like this. And I'm going to give it a background color of red. Let's go and see what we have. All right, currently I cannot even find it. So also I need to give it minus 50 pixels on top, and I'm gonna go with 150 pixels for width and height. So let's actually see if this is going to show. All right, there we go. So it's right over here, and the image is going to be positioned right over here. And this is looking so far so good. Now I do want to be a circle. I do not want it to be like that. I'm gonna remove the background color. I'm going to just put background. I'm going to make it black, and I'm going to say border radius is going to be 50%. Everything that's outside of this is going to be hidden, and I'm going to give it a transition of 4, because here we chose a 4. I want to keep them consistent, and I'm going to give it a box shadow. So box shadow is going to be 10 pixels, then we have 55 pixels, RGBA, and it's going to be the same as before. All right, let's see. Good. So as you can see, currently it is, I cannot see the shadow, to be honest. Well, actually I see it right over here. You can put something white to appear as glowing, but I'm not going to do these shenanigans. So that's actually doing a pretty good job, but I want it to grow when I hover on it, because currently if I do hover on it, it's actually staying the same, as you can see. And the whole idea is to make the card bigger on hovering. So I'm going to say when the card hovers, I'm going to be targeting the image container, and I'm actually going to make it a little bit bigger. So width is going to be by 100 pixels. So just like this. Let's go and see. And as you can see, it's growing bigger currently. I don't know if this is too big right now, but I think it's all right. Good. So we already got that. Now let's take care of the image inside. So I'm going to say .image container, and I'm going to say image. Position is going to be absolute. Top is going to be 0. Left is going to be 0. Just like this. And I'm going to say I want the whole image, and I want to be object fit cover. Covering on the div that we actually have. Currently we do not have the image, so I'm just going to roll it back. And let's see what we've got. There we go. So there is state. All right, nice. It's actually looking nice. I'm not going to give it a border, just like this, because I think that we do not need it. This looks all right. So yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. All right. So the image container is actually done. Now we need to be following with details, I believe. The first thing that I want to target currently is going to be this div content over here. And that's why I'm going to say content. Now, this is obviously going to be moving, so therefore I'm going to give it a position absolute. I'm also going to make it as big as possible. I'm going to put display flex. Everything that's off, I want to hide. justify content center, and I'm gonna align items to flex end. So let's actually see how this is looking currently. All right. Okay. So now I was wondering, do I want it to be like this or do I want it to be like this? I think like that is kind of alright. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna leave it like that. Good. So now that we actually have the content, it's going to be a display flex, and they appear like that, right? If this is the cart, because here we have a div, here we have a div, here we have a div. So I'm going to now target the data. Or actually, oh no, first it's the details. Sorry. So let's go with dot details, and I'm gonna give it a certain padding. And I'm gonna choose 50 pixels. Text align is going to be center. I'm gonna give it max amount of width. I'm gonna give it a transition because this one is going to be moving as well. And let's actually see. All right. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to translate all of that down. And I do hope that I can hit it. So translate Y, and I'm gonna give it 150 pixels. So let's see what this is actually doing. Okay, good, good. It's still not translating up though. So what we can do is we can go to cart hover. So when we're hovering on the cart, I'm going to be targeting the details, and the details are going to be transform, translate Y 0. So let's actually see how this is going to look now. Boom, boom. There we go. So it's currently moving. It's not looking good because we have not done everything, but as you can see, it's moving, and when we make the card bigger, it's actually aligning everything. Perfect. Good. So what is the next step? The next step is for us to target these carriers 2 over here. So I'm gonna say details h2, and I'm gonna go font size is going to be 1.5 em, font weight is going to go 500, color I'm gonna say gray, and line height I'm gonna go like this. Let's see how this looks. Annotate top G, and I still do not like the padding, but I'm gonna fix this. Next is going to be the span, so that's gonna be dot details h2, and I'm gonna be targeting the span. All right, so the span is going to be font size of 0.8 em, like this. We're gonna see how this looks. 500, and opacity is going to be a little bit off because I want it to be this top G part. I want to not be seen. Now, currently it's not working though. I'm gonna do 700 here, something like this, and the span is going to be, I think that's all right. But again, I do not see, like, this is literally the same. Oh yeah, it is the same because we are not having a span here. All right, sorry, my bad. Let's see now. There we go. So as you can see, annotate in this top G part is a little bit off, right? It's not so flashy. I like it that way. Good. Next in line is going to be the data. So this thing over here. Dot data. Now what we want is we want it to be on display flex. So I do want, now if I open up this annotate thing and I go with my good colors, so we can see, I want to have 32 here, then I want to have 10K over here, then I want to have 1K over here, right? So I want it to be a display flex, and I want it to be like this. So in order for me to do that, first of all, I'm going to say display flex. Then I'm going to justify content space between, align items, center, and I'm going to give them some margin, 10 pixels, 0. All right, let's see how this is going to look. All right, as you can see, they are the way I like them to be. Now we are going to have 32 and then sports car over here because of the brake line. And sports cars is not looking good for me because as you can see, others have followers and following. But here I do not like this, so I'm going to say just cars. Just like this. I think it's going to be looking better. Yeah, there we go. Just like this. All right. Good. The data is done. Now I'm going to be targeting data H3. So I'm going to say font size is going to be 1 em. Color, I'm just going to go with gray, or I can go with space gray. space. I'm not entirely sure what space is. Let me check. Still didn't understand, but I'm just going to go with gray. Gray team. Good. Line height is going to be the same as this one over here, so 1.2 EM. We want to keep them consistent. Then we're going to have font weight, 600. Let's check. All right, I like it. All right, I like it quite a lot. Now we're going to be targeting the spans. So I'm going to say data h3 span, the same thing as we did right over there. I do want to keep it not flashy. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to give them a smaller size, pretty much this same thing right over here. So let's actually see how this looks. Boom, there you go. So as you can see, this thing following followers and cars, they're looking a little bit different, right? These things over here. They're looking not so, and should I actually make this black? I'm not entirely sure. With gray, I think gray looks good, but I'm just not entirely sure if we cannot pick any better color. We can just go with blue, probably. Yeah, we're gonna experiment with that. Let's not care about this. The final part to do is the action buttons. So I'm gonna say .action buttons. And also I want the buttons to be positioned like this. One button here, one button over here. Then I'm going to have the details over here, and then I'm going to have the picture over here, the name over here, and the position over here. So something like this. In order for me to have this, the action buttons should be display flex. I'm going to be aligning them to the center, and I'm going to justify content space between. So if I go now to look, you're going to see these. And it's all right, but I'll go to F12. I can go to content, details, then action buttons. And as you can see, this div is rather large, right? As you can see it right over here. It's quite big, and the buttons are still sticking side by side, which is something that bothers me a lot. But before we do fix it, even though this should have been done, I can say action buttons, and then I can target an individual button. I'm going to give it a margin top of 5 pixels. Padding 10 pixels, 30 pixels. Border radius, I'm going to give it 5 pixels. Border is going to be none. Outline is going to be none. Font size is going to be a little bit bigger. And font weight is going to be 600. Background is going to be green. Green. Also, the color inside is going to be smoke, white smoke. And of course, I'm going to give it a cursor pointer. All right, let's see. Okay, so that is why we're not doing anything to these buttons. Let me see why. Oh, there we go. So it's action buttons, not actions buttons. Let's see now. All right, there we go. So as you can see now, it's all right because the div is this big. You can see it over here, and it's putting them on each side of the end, right? So onto the left hand and to the right hand, and this is looking far better for me personally. Good. Now that we actually have the buttons, I do want to place a second style to the button. So I'm going to say action buttons, then I'm going to go button, and child is going to be the second child, and I will be providing for it a little bit different styles. So I'm going to say border is going to be pixels, solid gray, then we're going to go color gray, and then I'm going to go background is going to be white smoke. So pretty much the same as it was on the card, so we shouldn't be able to see any difference. And as you can see, we have this small border to contact. And there we go. So that's Andrew Tate, a top G, and here we can see information about him. Good. So again, I made this cards, social cards, because in later episodes I plan to do certain stuff with it. So it's going to be a secret. And let's now actually see if I can make this probably very dark bluish. So let me just go to, where was it? Span. No. Where was it? It's not H2, it's H3, but it's H3 span. Yeah, there we go. So let's go with color. I'm going to go with blue, but I want a very, very darkish blue, something like this. Yeah, let's see now. It's looking pretty bad. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like this. So I'm gonna leave it like gray. All right, there you go. So this is Andrew Tate. the top G, and this is his social card. Yeah, I actually like it quite a lot. It's very smooth. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Subscribe and like if you found this useful. And the next project is going to be part with a server as well, as it was with the Travo application. See you soon and bye.